Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're doing our Q&A session number 4. And somehow or another it had been over a year since we had done a Q&A, so I apologize, I dropped the ball, and hopefully we can do these a little more consistently. But yeah, so it's been over a year. Welcome. Hi. I asked you guys to ask me questions for this Q&A on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And we got some good questions on YouTube and Instagram, so let's get to it. Instagram, what do you guys got for me? So we have a question from Darth Pete. What got you into action figure collecting? That's a pretty loaded question. Basically, when I was a kid growing up, my parents, they spoiled me and my siblings. We had plenty of toys. They were very good to us, Christmas, birthdays, and just because they'd buy us toys. And initially it was like Ghostbusters, Batman, Ninja Turtles. I think those were like the big three, like when I was like little. And there, of course, there were Barbies, Disney princesses, stuff like that. But I never really let go of that. I never lost sight of that. That was always kind of like the big thing for me, was collecting these toys. And I lifelong passion for toys. I think they're amazing. I think they're stress relievers and they're just so fun. And I greatly enjoy collecting toys. Always have, probably always will. And that's why we're here today still doing, reviews on all this stuff. So good question. Next up, Sandra's 94. Who's one character you've wanted a figure of, but they never made one for? Any series or franchise? That is a very tough one. We did Cantina chatter with Jurassic last month, and one of them that I had was Lex Murphy for Jurassic Park, and one that Jurassic had was John Hammond for Jurassic Park. I don't know if those would be the two like all-time that I'd want to see for any toy line, but off the top of my head, those two are definitely springing to mind. So yeah, definitely those two would be some good ones to start out with, but I'm sure there are others. I would just need to think about it a little more. Next question comes from Waydy Dylan Art, a good friend of mine, very good artist. Go check out his work. And he's asking, which actor portrayed Batman the best and why? I would say Christian Bale. That being said, Michael Keaton is Batman. I really do think Christian Bale was the best, but I have so much nostalgia and I have so many memories, and I've shown you guys the toys, back from Batman Returns and Batman 89. So in a big way, I would still say even to this day that I think Michael Keaton is like the ultimate, like he is Batman, but Christian Bale is the best Batman. Does that make sense? Christian Bale brought so much to the part. He was very deep. He was very thoughtful. His methodicness, is that a word? Methodicness. He was really good in the role. His interaction and chemistry with all the other characters. I just think the Dark Knight trilogy was like the overall best like presentation of Batman like on film. Even to this day, I just love those movies so much. I could watch them over and over. They're just top notch. Christopher Nolan, amazing director, one of the greatest directors of our time, in my opinion. So, yeah, Christian Bale. Does that answer your question? I hope so. And that looks like it'll do it for Instagram. Let's move on to YouTube. The question is, what are your thoughts on the Kong Skull Island toys? I think overall they did a nice job, and that's, with the stipulation that I gotta say, they're not the most flashy toys, they're not the fanciest toys, but I think they did a good job overall for getting a toy line to retail at the price points that you can get them at. $10 for a set that has a vehicle and a 4-inch figure. Nobody else is doing that. Again, they're not the best quality toys. The figures are very 90s looking, and the vehicles, like the boxes, feel super lightweight, but I think that overall they did a really nice job. And I actually, of course, have the Kong figure. I reviewed this one. This is the 20-inch Kong. I think they did a great job with him. He's very nice looking. Aesthetics are fantastic. Great sculpt. Very nice paint detail on him. He's got scratches. He's got articulation. Not so much from the waist down, but you know, he is very top heavy, so that's okay. If he had more joints down here, it you know, it'd probably topple over. So I'm good with this. This is nice. I love this. I mean, this is really cool. But I don't know that I'm gonna buy any more of these toys. Most likely, probably not. I haven't yet seen the movie, and I probably will soon, hopefully. But yeah, I don't have any plans to buy any more of them. But yeah, overall, I think they did a pretty good thing. I mean, it's not the best toy line, but you know, price point's awesome. I got handed to them for doing a good job. Good job, Leonard. Ink Boy is asking, will you consider picking up any Marvel Legends figures to review in the future? I have reviewed Marvel Legends before. I've done quite a few Marvel Legends, actually. A lot of people don't watch them, it seems. So I don't review them a whole lot because I tend to review things that I like a lot, and I do like a lot of those Marvel Legends figures quite a bit. But I mean, these reviews are for you guys. If you don't want to watch them, I'm not going to do them. So I pick and choose the Marvel Legends. I don't buy them all. I have no interest in doing that, but I do have most of the movie-based figures, if not all of them. So I'm really big on the movie figures from Marvel Legends. So yeah. Bruce Wayne is asking, and which Bruce Wayne is this? Is it Adam West? Is it Michael Keaton? Is it Val Kilmer? Is it George Clooney maybe? Is it Ben Affleck or Christian Bale? I don't know. It's got the Christian Bale, or no, it's got the Ben Affleck Batman there. So, but he's asking, are you interested in Mezco 112 figure line, such as the Ben Affleck Batman figure? You know what? It's funny you ask. I actually just got the Ben Affleck Mezco 112 figure today. I just received it today. It had been on order for a couple months. It's here. I'm going to do a video. And I'm excited because this is the first Mezco figure I've ever bought. So I'm excited to see what it's like. I'll try and shoot that next week, and hopefully I can get it up the week after that. Let's see. George Perez. What is your favorite top action or toy collection? And which ones do you love to collect the most? Star Wars is easily the backbone of my collection. It's most everything I have is Star Wars. I have a lot of everything else and other things, but Star Wars to me is like the number one thing that I collect. I love Star Wars. I mean, all of the reviews that we do, we mainly focus on Star Wars, and that's for a reason. That's mostly what I have. So, and what do you like to collect the most? Yeah, it would also be Star Wars. You know, if you want me to be more specific, it'd be Star Wars super articulated 3 3/4 inch figures. I like 6 inch quite a bit. I like the scale. But I prefer the 3 3/4 inch super articulated figures, not 5 POA, not 5 POA, super articulated. Next question. Do you collect, this is from Luke Gregory, do you collect DC icons? If so, do you know when the Deathstroke figure comes out? Well, I have 2 DC icons. I got Harley Quinn and I have Batman. It's not a line that I normally collect, and unfortunately I don't know when Deathstroke comes out. I didn't even know they were doing a Deathstroke. I don't follow it too closely. So, sorry. Next question, NG Chris. Between Marvel Legends and Star Wars Black Series, which do you like more? Black Series. Probably that's a little obvious. Most of the reviews we do are Black Series, both 6 inch and 3 3/4 inch scale. I absolutely love collecting those, and I mean, it's Star Wars. Like I said, it's the main thing in my collection. So again, with Marvel Legends, I pick and choose the movie-based figures. I don't really buy the comic-based figures so much. It's just Spider-Gwen. It's the only one I've gotten, I think. But yeah, so definitely a Black Series. Next question is from Bubba Hicks. What is your favorite dinosaur figure from the Papo line? Probably this guy right here. This is the green T-Rex from 2005. And I mean, it's not trying to be a scientifically accurate T-Rex or anything. I mean, it's straight up like, you know, Jurassic Park T-Rex, as you can see, like straight out of the Lost World. And I think it's awesome. It's a great looking figure. Haven't done a video on this yet, but maybe I will at some point. Dakota Dinos. When you evaluate a toy or figure, are you evaluating the playability as a toy or the accuracy of the details more? All of the above. When I do a review, I try to be as comprehensive as possible. I try to cover the whole picture, the big picture, look at everything. We look at the aesthetics, which includes the sculpt, the details, texture, the paint. We look at the articulation system. We look at the accessories that are included. We look at action features, which ties into the playability. So, I mean, we try to look at everything. We do comparisons where it makes sense to do those. So, yeah, I mean, it's basically, it's both and everything. I try to cover everything. And I think for the most part, I do a good job doing that. So, yeah. Classic Action Figures is asking, what vehicle or playset would you like to see being made or released for the Star Wars 3 3/4 inch line? The Death Star. It's the 40th anniversary of Star Wars. Where's our Death Star playset? Rumor is that Hasbro has been working on one for some time. They never released it for some reason, but rumor is that they have one. So Hasbro, give me my Death Star. I need that. Billock81, hey buddy. What toy lines today do you think are underperforming on a purely creative level? Well, I mean, I know I've touched on Star Wars 5POA. I'm not a 5POA person. I like my figures to have articulation, especially where it makes sense. I mean, you can't have a shore trooper from Rogue One with 5POA. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't do anything. You can't have a Jyn Erso with 5POA. You need those figures to be fully jointed. Walmart does have their exclusive Black Series 3 3/4 inch SA line. So those are fully articulated, but I mean, they're a little pricier. Which isn't the biggest issue to me, it's the availability. So that'd be a one thing. And the other thing I would say is, obviously the Hasbro Jurassic World was bad, but I mean, that's history. That's water under the bridge at this point. There's more stuff coming from Mattel later. And DC Multiverse by Mattel really sticks out in my mind because Mattel used to be like on top of like 6-inch like superhero figures. Like they used to be the best. But they've really been slacking in recent years. They went down to 4-inch and they went back to 6-inch and they never updated their articulation systems. They're still stuck in the last decade. So, and the sculpts just don't look that good. I mean, we did a lot of the Batman v Superman 6-inch figures and they just didn't look that good. I mean, you guys can go back and look at those reviews. Most of those figures were terrible. Some of them were passable, but I mean, we don't want passable figures. We want good figures. If you're going to pay $20 a figure, you want it to look nice. You want it to look like what you saw in the film. Otherwise, what's the point? And you want it to be fully articulated. So, yeah, Mattel definitely needs improvement. They need to rehire the 4 Horsemen. J. Ruing 73. Why did you start collecting and why did you want to start reviewing? I only ask because I'm 44 and I've been collecting figures for as long as I can remember and have been discouraged by my mother on many occasions. I decided, no disrespect to her, that it's a part of who I am. I won't change for anyone. My girlfriend accepts it. Okay, so I started collecting. This goes back to what the question I answered on Instagram from Darth Pete, who asked me about why I started collecting. It goes back to being a kid and having, all those toys that our family bought for us and for me and, growing up with all those things. And that's kind of why I started collecting. I just kind of was like I don't know, born into it is the right choice of words, but it was just around me growing up as a kid. So, I mean, that's just kind of what the case was. Now, as far as why I started reviewing, I found myself nearly 4 years ago exactly with extra time on my hands, and I started making a website called Victoria's Cantina. And ultimately that evolved into the videos. I thought, hey, I'm going to give the videos a shot and see how that goes instead of doing a website. And I really liked it. It was a fun hobby, and luckily you guys liked it as well, and that's why we're still here doing these videos today. So yeah, that's why I started reviewing. I had so much in my collection, and I wanted to share that with everybody. So that's why we do the reviews. That's why, I show you all these crazy toys that I have, because I got so many of them. Got to share them with somebody, right? And yeah, I mean, I don't think it matters what age you are collecting is collecting. Some people collect movie stubs. Some people collect beer bottles. Some people collect Barbies. Some collect, action figures. It's all good. Some people have hobbies that are totally unrelated to collecting anything, and that's okay. I mean, a hobby is a hobby for a reason. It's because it's what you enjoy. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter, what your reasons are. I mean, it's a stress reliever. I mean, we do hobbies to take our minds off of other things, and I mean, don't let anybody tell you can't collect or shouldn't collect. I mean, if you can make it work, go for it. Okay. Gungan Hunter 506. What video games do you play? I'm not a big video game person. I never really have been. I do the Arkham video games. Those don't come out very often, though. So, I mean, that's basically it. That's the extent of it. I mean, I have a few games on my iPhone. That's about it. Yeah. Don't really. I have a PS4, but I don't really do a whole lot with it. Next question. Adam Midlinsky. With Mattel now having the master toy license for Jurassic, how confident are you in them to pre-delivered JW levels of quality product, especially considering the JW line is not a very high bar to surpass? That's true. All right, so I think Mattel's going to do a good job. Depending on who you ask, a lot of people are going to say Mattel, doesn't have what it takes to produce a good Jurassic Park toy line. I think they do. They're bigger than Hasbro. They have full access to the best people, the best resources. I think they can do an amazing job. Whether or not they're going to do that, that's going to remain to be seen until we actually see some figures. Now, today a list did leak showcasing different figures and stuff, dinosaurs and stuff for next year. Whether or not it's a real list, I can't say. I really don't know. If you read the list, the dinosaurs that are on there, it looks like the ideal Jurassic Park toy line. I mean, it looks like a hardcore JP toy collector fan put it together. I mean, it's perfect. So I'm kind of a little doubtful about it for that reason. I hope it's a real list, and I think Mattel hopefully will do a good job, but recently, we saw those Fast and Furious figures. They're 2.5 inch, and they come with a little vehicle for $10. That's not what I want for Jurassic. I want to see Kenner quality. I want 3 3/4 inch action figures, or the 4.5 inch like the Kenner JP figures were. 3 3/4 inch I think would be best, and then just do everything else revolving around that 1/18 scale. The figures, the vehicles, the small dinosaurs, the big dinosaurs, just keep them all on scale with each other, just like Kenner did. That's absolutely what I'd like to see the most from them. MG Villain. Hey, Minnie. So what's going to be your future plans for this channel? Will you still be doing diverse figures and collectibles? We've always done the focus on Star Wars. That's how the channel began. It was with Star Wars, and that's kind of always been the bread and butter of this channel, Star Wars reviews. It makes up the bulk of my collection. It's what I have to show more than anything else. So definitely Star Wars. That being said, we've also looked at other things before. Obviously, I'm big on Jurassic Park. That's probably like my second biggest passion in terms of these franchises go. We looked at Batman, Marvel Legends, and a lot of other miscellaneous things that you guys don't watch. So, but yeah, Star Wars is always going to be the main focus of this channel. Eve Angel 2220, sup Ed. What is the one question you have always wanted to answer or discuss but has never come up? And what is the one question you are glad has never come up? First of all, that's 2 questions. The rules are 1 question per person. And, that's hard to say. What is the one question I've always wanted somebody to ask, but they haven't asked? Well, that's why I give you guys the opportunity to ask me the questions. I don't have anything that I want you to ask. I don't have anything in mind. It's a clean blank slate. Just ask me the questions. Happy to answer as best I can. And what is the one question you're glad has never come up? There's quite a few. I don't want to get into those. But yeah, I'm glad that there are questions that are not asked. So, okay. Mark Dooley is asking. Hi, Victoria. Hi. Do you have a why the heck did I buy that purchase in your collection? Something you don't like but bought anyway. Well, Mark, I got more of those than I would like to admit. And oftentimes I'll buy something, I'll review it, and I'll be like, hey, this isn't for me. I don't like it. You know, this is wrong with it, this and that. That's just the way it goes. I think no matter what you're buying, whether it's clothes or furniture, a lot of times things aren't perfect. They're to our liking. So, I mean, I've had things that I've held on to for years, and then finally I said, do I need this in my collection? And then I've gone ahead and sold it. And occasionally I'll regret that, and I'll have to go back and buy it again. And of course, it's been years, and then the price is a lot higher. I have to pay a lot more to get it back. That does happen. So be careful when you sell your things. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the time, it's happened quite often. I mean, most of what I buy, I enjoy. A large percentage of what I buy, I enjoy. But yeah, there are quite a few things I have bought, and I'm like, why did I waste my money on this? Why did I do it? So yes. Next is Felix Romero is asking, what are your top 5 Star Wars characters you want Hasbro to make? We covered this very thoroughly, me and Jedi Master 738. We did Cantina Chatter, top 10 wish list for Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch. So I would encourage you to go take a listen to that. But I think I've kind of amended my list just a little bit, you know, since then. So right off the bat, 5 figures: Aayla Secura, Darth Talon, Lisa Bserlin, Grand Moff Tarkin, of course, and Gamorrean Guard. Those need to happen at some point. They really, really do. Next question. Rose Hettinger. Do you make a living via your reviews? And if so, how does that work? Rose, honestly, it's near impossible to make any money on YouTube. It just doesn't happen. I mean, really what you need to have happen is have videos that go viral. If you can have a bunch of videos that have, you know, 1 million+ views, you're going to make some money. Or you have hundreds of thousands of subs, you're going to make money. Somehow or another, we have like 8 million combined views or more, and we only have less than 8,000 subscribers. So go figure. I mean, people watch the videos and they don't often subscribe. I can't say why. I'd love them to, but it just doesn't always happen. The biggest video we have is the Jaws video for Jaws versus Quint. It was the Funko reaction, and that has, I think, like 7 million views almost. So if you have something like that, I mean, that gives you some decent money, but it's never enough for an income. I mean, more than anything else, it's going to be so you can go back and buy more toys to review and to share and stuff like that. But you're not going to make enough to have to pay your car payment or your home mortgage or your bills, your cell phone bill, stuff like that. I mean, it's just going to be like, you know, a little bit of extra hobby money, basically. So I can't make a living doing this. I don't know anybody that does, again, unless they have like those huge channels. And our final question, this comes from EMAS05. And they're asking, have you ever thought of setting up a P.O. box so that your followers and subscribers may send you figures you can review to support the channel? That's a good question. I have thought about that. Ultimately, it's not something that I've done. I'm not totally discounting it. I may do it at some point. But right now, at this point in time, I haven't done it. And I mean, I'd love to get things from people to review and stuff, but the fact is, you do got to pay for P.O. Box, and I mean, I got tons of stuff to review already. So, I mean, I'd love to get more stuff, but I mean, I've got so much stuff that I can review as it is. So, I'm not going to do, I might do that at some point in the future. I'm not going to say I'm not, but yeah, as of right now, I don't have any immediate plans to do that. All right, you guys, so that's going to wrap things up for this 4th session of Q&A. And hopefully we can do them a little more frequently. Like I said, I kind of dropped the ball. It had been, you know, since last March that we had done one of these. Over a year now at this point. So yeah, thanks again to everybody who's sending questions. And as always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Victoria's Cantina. As always, like, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. You guys know the routine. So yeah,